Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Kwani mmekaa hapa sana mpaka imekuwa ni shida. Hebu tusalamiane. Excellencies present, CS who is yet to come, Honorable MCS if they are present, Honorable David Munyanda, who is a very good friend of mine from CBM, Honorable Chairman Samuel Wawero, CEOs who are present, ladies and gentlemen. I'm David Ole Sankok and I'm honored to be here today so that we can launch this very important strategic plan. Daktari, asante sana, umekuwa ukitembea na sisi throughout. And before even we do anything, or before I deliver my remarks, and because I've seen that I think our glucose level have gone a bit lower, I want us to stand up so that we can have the persons with disability anthem. And all of you will assist us in reciting the persons with disability anthem. And since most of you are not aware, so you will repeat after me. I may have lost my sight, but not my vision. I may have lost my legs, but not my momentum. I may have lost my skin pigment, but not my beauty. I may have lost my hearing, but not my understanding. I may have lost my mental ability, but not my human feelings. Thank you so much. Ketini. Ladies and gentlemen, why we have recited this anthem for persons with disability is because there is ability beyond disability. And that we have changed the narrative, that we no longer need sympathy. We need to be given opportunities. We are here today to launch a very important strategic plan for our brothers and sisters with visual impairment. And it's just good for me to mention a few heroes with vision impairment. There is Honorable Sinyo, who was a member of parliament, and he was instrumental in the success of our Constitution of Kenya 2010 and also Person with Disability Act. There is Honorable Laibuta, who is currently judge of the Court of Appeal. There is also Honorable Torerei, Fred Aga. There is also Honorable Samuel Wawero, who is our chairman today for the Kenya Society for the Blind. And I have known him while he was a student in the university, and he has been a passionate leader of persons with disability in the university. We have so many other heroes. You know, you remember the late, I don't remember his name, but he was instrumental in our Constitution 2010. These people overcome a lot of challenges for them to be where they are. And ours is not only to appreciate them, but to recognize them as our heroes. Because for them to go through primary school, even to complete class 8, remember their pen costs 100,000, while your pen costs 10 shillings. You know, the pen for a person with visual impairment is a braille, and the minimum cost is 100,000. Yet ours is 10 shillings. These people must overcome a lot of challenges. Sometimes they have to share those pens in a whole school because we can't afford 100,000 for every people. Just imagine that you are in a school, you are in a class, and you are visually impaired, and the teacher is teaching mathematics, and there is a triangle that have been drawn on the board. There are all those diagrams. rectangle. You are told the issue of pi r square to get the area of a, is it a circumference of a circle, you know? I'm sorry, but I got an A in KCSE, but I have forgotten these things. So you can imagine all those diagrams. You will be seeing the diagrams. What will happen with that people with visual impairment? And then again, the benchmark of the exam is that they must get a certain grade for them to be teachers, for them to be lawyers, for them. Our qualification to universities are all the same across the board. For them to even score a D is like somebody without visual impairment scoring an A. But have we tried as much as possible to try and accommodate them? Because as we recognize limitations that come with disability, we must also recognize ability beyond disability. If yes, I did not pass in mathematics because of the challenges that I have just enumerated, the diagrams that I was not able to see, why do you deny me a chance to become a teacher of English? Why do you deny me a chance to become a lawyer? Because there is a minimum requirement for you to grade to get in mathematics for you to be a lawyer. Why should you deny me that chance? Are we really having in Kenya what we call adaptable exam? Because I remember there was a presidential directive in 2016 where we needed adaptable exams. We did not say that as person with disability we need to be given easier exam. No, we don't know easier exam. But we need to be given adaptable exam. Because a child without arms write using their mouth. And I want to challenge all of you. You know me, I normally want when we all interact. Led by Daktari, David Munyando. By the way, let us even give this exam to Daktari. You know, to study medicine, you must be very qualified. So I want to give him the exam. So Daktari, write your name using your mouth. I allow you to remove the mask. Just write, please. Just continue. We have enough time to wait for you. Okay, Felista, can you read for us what you have written? Because I know kuna sarakasi hapo. Read for us. What does it say? So, ladies and gentlemen, what you are just saying, now imagine that child with disability, without arms, writing using their mouth, and you give them the same time that you have given to somebody who is writing using either left arm or right arm, depending on which one is comfortable. You are giving them enough space. I know it's almost filled, The full scope is almost filled. So you are giving that person the same space to answer questions. Sometimes they have only answered 2 questions out of 50. Then you say they have scored an E. No. These people are intelligent. If they were given adaptable exam, if they were given the opportunity to use brailles or to use computers, then they will have been faster. If they were given enough time, they will have answered all questions, and then you will gauge them from what they have answered, not from what they have not answered. So I think also it's a high time all of us now come together and think of ways of trying to have adaptable qualification for individual courses, because we accept our limitation as persons with disabilities. My friend Samson Waweru cannot go and study veterinary medicine. He accepted that siwezi sukumana na mang'ombe kwa sababu hata siwezi waona. But he can be a very good lawyer, because lawyers does not need eyes. They need the mouth and brains. And Waweru is endowed with both of them. That is why we are saying we need adaptable qualification, minimum qualification for any course that we have to study, especially for persons who are visually impaired. It's also unfortunate that in this country, Kenya Society for the Blind is still surviving on donation, goodwill, philanthropists, mostly from out of this country. Yet, Kenya Society for the Blind was formed through an act of parliament, like any other parastatal, like any other state corporation, like AQ, like National Council for Persons with Disability. It is really not good. 70 years post-independent, they still depend on donation. They still survive on goodwill. They are just there. They wait for a calamity for everybody to see them. 1998 bombing, when so many people became blind. Then for 3 or 4 years, there were issues were really highlighted. The issue of the blind was all over the media. Then we forget, we wait for another calamity. I remember since independence, there was advocates of persons with disability right that wanted an act of parliament for persons with disabilities. It never materialized until a calamity struck the country when Kibaki became disabled, when he went into a wheelchair. That was in 2002-2003 election. So when Kibaki now became disabled, while he was being sworn in Uhuru Park, it was very difficult even to carry him. He's very heavy, And then he was given not a wheelchair, but something looked like a wheelbarrow. So when he was being transported to the dais, it was really difficult. I remember one day I met him and he said there was a day he was being carried. And then the security details wakataresa kidogo. Wakajaribu kuokoa yeye ndiye asigonge chini. I don't want to tell you walishika wapi, but he complained. But initially, because you cannot complain to people who are really trying to assist you. And when you are assisting somebody, mkono inaenda kombo. So you can imagine, we waited for us to have a Person with Disability Act of Parliament of 2003, session paper number 14, session paper number 14. And then through the experience of Honorable Mwai Kibaki, then we rectified the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disability 2008. Must you always wait for calamities for us to be able to assist our brothers and sisters whom we live with every day, whom we have gone to school with them, whom we know, a neighbor, a friend with visual impairment. But then, when you are in the position of leadership, you forget about them, you have to wait for a calamity. You may force us to pray for calamities to come to Kenya. If that is the time, you will have to look into our issues. So, for those who are not persons with disability, tafadhali mujipange. Otherwise, tutaweza kaa chini, mimi na Wawero, na my friend Kago, tukae chini tuseme, sasa tunataka issues zetu zisiangaziwe. County government, I've heard that Her Excellencies are here. If you are not here, I know the message will reach them wherever they are and reach the governors and the county government in general. All persons with disabilities live within the counties. I've had some excuses that function of National Council for Persons with Disability is not devolved. Of course, you cannot devolve human beings. They live within you. And not only incorporate social responsibility, but it is their right also to enjoy the services that we offer to other citizens within our counties. There is a thin line between visual impairment and medical condition. Medical condition like cataracts and others. There's a very thin line. There was a lady who was just highlighted here, the chief, who became sick, went through operation, but eventually becoming a person with visual impairment. Now the government, health being a devolved function, county government, what excuse will you give me now not at least to take care of the blind in your respective counties? Even other disabilities, there's a thin line between them, between medical condition and some form of disability. Person with albinism, with the effect of sun rays, they can develop cancer. So county government, these are health. Health is devolved function. Please let us take care of our persons with disability, starting from person with visual impairment. Chairman, thank you very much. You have said that you have memorandum of understanding you have signed with several counties. I urge all the counties across the country to make sure that they benchmark with other counties that have signed and invite the chairman and the CEO so that they can be educated on how they can assist individual persons with visual impairment in their counties. We thank the leadership of Kenya Society for the Blind, the current leadership. They have come up with this strategic plan, but not only this strategic plan, I have interacted with them, and they really have a vision for the Kenya Society for the Blind. And as a member of parliament, on the behalf of National Assembly, I promise you that if there is any law that will make your work easier, we will support, we will make sure that we have passed. We will talk with the Ministry of Labor and Social Protection so that we interact with you more closely so that we make sure that the Kenya Society for the Blind is up and running. I heard that there was a time that it was in really a lot of debt, but it have reduced. But I will assure you, those will be things of the past. We will make sure that we do support. We will try to get any way of getting the funding to the Kenya Society for the Blind. We have 100 million for albinism. We are also in process of having 500 million for hemophilias, people who are living with hemophilia. We also want to have some money for caretakers. We also want to have money for autism. In fact, we already have money for autism. So I don't see the reason why the Kenya Society for the Blind, the country cannot have an allocation express from Treasury that is meant for the Kenya Society for the Blind. This one we will do before the end of my term, which is just ending somewhere in August 2022, because I'm retiring from politics. I've worked with the Kenya Society for the Blind while I was the chairman, National Council for Persons with Disability. And we did not achieve a lot. I must apologize for that. But for now, since I'm in legislative arm of government, I think we will achieve a lot. And I will make sure that we have achieved a lot. We used to have Honorable Senior sitting in my board of the National Council for Persons with Disability, and she was very instrumental in most of these laws. Whatever we have not achieved, we will achieve within the next 1 year. I have also interacted with visually impaired members, especially during the Rio 2016 Paralympic, where Kenyans really, with visual impairment, made us proud. You remember the famous gold by one Mr. Mushai, which Brazil wanted to snatch from him. In fact, we had to demonstrate in Rio de Janeiro, that is 10,000 kilometers from Kenya, so that we make sure that Mushai was awarded that gold. But that is not even the case. The issue here is that when they came back to the country, whenever there is competition of persons with disability, Paralympic, Deaf Olympic, when they come back, even after winning several medals for this country, they come quietly. Maybe only Sankok to go and receive them. Not even a chief, not even a nyumba kumi character. Yes? And I don't think there is a goal that is disabled. Once you have won a medal, you have won a medal and you have made Kenya proud. Na bendera ya Kenya inapo peperushwa kwa sababu somebody with disability have won a gold, haipeperushi nusu mlingoti, inaenda pale juu. Na national anthem ya Kenya inaimbwa. Sio national anthem ya nchi nyingine. Lakini wakati ambao wameshinda, we don't even receive them. We don't even recognize them. As I finish, let me give an example of Paralympic of 2016, in which I was part and parcel. There were 9 athletes with disabilities and 28 officials from the Ministry of Sports who went there to enjoy, because they know there is Copacabana Beach, which is a very big one. Because there is no way you can have the main characters being fewer than the officials. Unaona venye tunadharauliwa? Yes? And in the Olympic, there were 17 officials out of 89 athletes. Season in 9 athletes and 28 officials. Now the 89 athletes of the normal Olympic only won Kenya. I think that time there were around 16 medals. Yes? That is less than 20%. The Paralympic were 9 and they won 6 medals. That is way above 70%. Who was supposed to be celebrated? Who was supposed to be celebrated? We are supposed to be celebrated because, one, we have won the highest number of medals in relation to our athletes. 2, we have fed so many angry hyenas in the form of official 28 of them, while the others only fed 16. So, ladies and gentlemen, without wasting a lot of time, I really do appreciate all of you who have participated here today. If you don't have a disability, just know that as person with disability, we do appreciate. We may not have gold to give you, we may not have flowers to give you, we may not have any present to give you, but we have a basket full of prayers for you and your families. So, ladies and gentlemen, with those very many remarks, we don't welcome the CAS like that. No. Pana. You know, this is a very important person. Mnataka pesa ama mtaki pesa? So, tupige makofi mzuri ndio apate kutupatia pesa. 1, 2, 3. Funga. Fungua. Asante.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sankok, for giving me this opportunity. And I want to take this opportunity first and foremost to apologize for having come late. We had a very crash program, and the CS was supposed to come and join us, but because of a number of other meetings that came in between, he has not been able to come. So I will be representing him. The Kenya Society for the Blind Council, the Kenya Society for the Blind members, distinguished guests, Honorable Sankok, who we normally refer as 001, the Kenya Society of Blind Chairman, Samson Wawero, Vice Chairman Angelina Wambui, and all the representatives, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Habari yenu? How is everybody doing? I hope you have forgiven us for coming late. This is a meeting that I should have been the first one to come here so that you can get me when I'm seated. Indeed, Sankok, thank you very much for that introduction. And I must also confess that I'm the one who introduces Sankok to politics about 10 years ago. And we also happen to come from the same county and even the same village. And I'm always proud of him because he really stands for people living with disabilities. He has really pushed us as a ministry, as government, to make sure that all needs are attended to. So I congratulate you, Honorable Sankok, and all the members present here. Also, I wanted to say that, Chairman, I really want to thank you. And I have heard the issues that you have raised, and even the history that you have told us. And I want to say that we are pushing. We know the problems that are bedeviling KSB. And I can assure you that these are now the issues that I can tell you for sure we will start addressing, particularly on the issues of budgets. Really, it doesn't help if we just depend on the well wishes. That is not the right thing to say. I must accept as a government official that we will push to make sure that the next budget you are included. Or even Sankok in the supplementary budget. I will stand with you, and I can assure you I will be able to tell the CS that this is one particular group that we have not been funding, and we should. Now, allow me now to take this opportunity to read the CS speech, and then later on we will launch our 2021-2025 strategic plan. It gives me great pleasure to join you all and the Kenya Society for the Blind as we launch the Society Strategic Plan, which will guide the organization in the implementation of its mandate in the next 5 years. The Kenya Society for the Blind, KSB, is a statutory charitable organization established by an Act of Parliament in 1956 to promote the welfare, education, training and employment of persons with visual disability, and to assist in the prevention and elevation of blindness. Its mandate is to assist the government, communities, public and private organizations, and individuals in all matters related to visual disability, and to awaken public interest in the welfare of persons with visual disabilities and in all matters relating to visual disability. During the census of 2019, the Ministry of Labor and Social Protection and Disabled Person Organization partnered with KNBS to include the Washington Group of Short Question in the National Census 2019 to capture accurate data on PWDs according to the census. 918,270 people and age 5 years and above had disability. For more female, about 523,883 than male, 394,330 had disabilities. The common type of disabilities were mobility, which is about 385,417, followed by visual at 333,520. A total of 9,729 persons had albinism. This means that slightly above a third of persons with disability in the country are those with visual impairment. We note with appreciation the projects and programs that Kenya Society of Blind has been implementing, which include the eye care program, the education program, the rehabilitation program, and the resource center for those with visual impairment. Ladies and gentlemen, promoting inclusion of persons with disabilities calls for a multi-sectoral approach to address the challenges faced by persons with disabilities, and more importantly, to address the needs and rights of persons with disability in an holistic manner. Some of the barriers persons with disabilities face include lack of accessibility of physical and virtual environment, institutional and attitudinal barriers, inclusion, exclusions, and unequal opportunities. Others include gender-based discrimination and violence in all spheres of society. On the policy and legal fronts, the government of Kenya ratified the Convention of the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, called CPRPD, in 2008. The CPRD is an instrument of inclusive development, promoting the universal human rights of persons with disabilities from disability perspective. The Constitution of Kenya 2010, Article 54, entails persons with disability to be treated with dignity and respect, to access educational institutions and facilities, to reasonable access to all places, public transport and information, to access materials and devices to overcome constraints arising from persons with disabilities. The country is also in the process of ratifying the African Charter on Human and People's Rights on the Rights of PWDs in Africa, which has now been approved by the Cabinet and will soon be tabled in Parliament. I call upon at this juncture that Mheshimiwa Sankok, you know you are our eye, you should be able now to take over from there because we have already tabled it in Parliament. The state shall ensure the progressive implementation of the principle that at least 5% of the members of the public in elective and appointees bodies are persons with disabilities. I think as a country, we will agree that we have come a long way. If you look at our National Assembly today, and even the Senate, even the county assemblies, you will find out that at least there are people living with disabilities who are sitting in these particular houses. And I hope one day the chairman also can include, we can include him either in the Senate or in the National Assembly. In conclusion, in consultation with organizations of persons with disabilities and other key stakeholders, the ministry developed and finalized the Disability Awareness Creation Booklet. The booklet is aimed at raising awareness towards minimizing marginalization and exclusions of persons with disabilities from social development and political spheres. This is in response to the Global Disability Summit 2018, a commitment in which Kenya committed to reduce stigma and discrimination against a person with disability. The State Department for Social Protection is implementing a number of programs which are aimed at promoting the dignity of persons with disabilities. These include the Inua Jamii program that provide cash transfer to households with persons with severe disability. Under this program, the government disbursed over 1.2 billion shilling to 47,000 households with persons with severe disabilities every year in order to improve their social and economic well-being. And at this juncture, I will also mention that we, as the ministry, are working very hard to increase this number, and Sankok knows this number, 47,000, has been stagnant for a long time. And I can assure you, this one is something that, as the ministry, we are working very hard to increase because the people living with disabilities also continue to increase. Last year, at the height of COVID-19, the government allocated Kenya shilling 500 million to persons with disabilities to caution them against the economic effects of the pandemic. Measures were also put in place to ensure that persons with disabilities benefited from various COVID-19 interventions offered by the government and partners. The ministry, through the 12 vocational rehabilitation centers, normally called VRCS, trains an average of 700 PWDs in technical vocational skill to enable them to become self-reliant in life. In addition, the government provides business start tool keys to VRCs graduate to enable them to utilize the skills learned to generate income for self-reliance. The government is also working in partnership with stakeholders in the disability sector, including National Council for Persons with Disabilities, Association of Persons with Disabilities in Kenya, to enhance efforts to ensure that assistive technology continue to be developed, to ensure available of affordable and appropriate assistive devices for persons with disabilities. Kenya shilling 51.6 million has been spent by the government in provisions of assistive devices, aids and services to persons with disabilities. The State Department for Labor is also implementing some programs aimed at promoting the dignity of persons with disabilities, especially under the National Industrial Training Authority. Specifically, 15 PWDs trainees sponsored by the Site Savers International have reported for January 2021 term their fees fully paid by Site Savers to NITA. 50 trainees sponsored by APDK and settled in for training by 5th February 20 to NITA Nairobi, 15 to NITA, 20 to NITA Kisumu, and another 20 for Mombasa, respectively. Unfortunately, 30 trainees with total blindness could not be admitted by NITA for lack of burial facilities, reducing the anticipated number. The institution is working to make sure that they also get these facilities. Cisco Bridget ICT Academy training is ongoing with 40 students, fully sponsored under Inclusive Futures project by Site Savers International. The academy instructors and lab technicians are hired and fully paid by the project funders for the project period. NITA will prepare its own instructors to run and sustain the academy to benefit Kenya youth in ICT, especially the PWDs after the project period. Ladies and gentlemen, we are launching this strategic at a time when the whole world is affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. The issue of disability inclusion in all aspects, including in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, is key. It is good to note that, as such, this pandemic is affecting all of us. Persons with disability are the most affected as they have underlying a medical condition. I appreciate KSB for mobilizing support from donors and well-wishers to caution its members by providing food and protective items during this pandemic period. This strategic plan we are launching today will enable Kenya Society for the Blind to examine the existing and operating environment, explore factors and trends that affect the way it does business, seek to meet its mandate and fulfill its strategic vision and mission, frame strategic issues and flag priorities which must be addressed and find innovative ways to address them. As the ministry, we will continue to offer technical support for KSB as you implement this strategic plan. As I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate the Kenya Society for the Blind Council and your partners for the effort you have invested in the development of this strategic plan, and wish you all the best as you implement the priorities set out in this plan. I urge all of us to protect ourselves, our families, and our friends by adhering to the Ministry of Health protocol on COVID-19. Thank you and may God bless you all. Let me just add by saying that the government is doing everything we can to making sure that we address the plight of people living with disabilities. And I also want to say, Chairman, your members are working very hard, particularly those representatives you have in counties assemblies or in national assemblies or in the Senate. Sankok is one of the people that I have always, you can even see, look at the uniform that he's wearing. You cannot miss him. And I want to tell you that he has been really working very hard to make sure that your issues are addressed in Parliament. And I think, Chairman and all the members, I'm very happy to be here today. I'm really very happy. I just want to tell you that I feel bad when we were late, because this is a group that we needed to have been here by 8 and wait you, not you to wait us. Should be the other way around. So next time, I can assure you that if it is me coming, not the minister, I'll be here before you come. Secondly, I want to also say that, Chairman, we have a lot. And I want to organize for a meeting so that the issues that you have just talked about today, you can come to the office, we sit down with a few of you members, so that we can be able to fast track some of the issues that you have just talked about. Otherwise, I want to end there by saying I wish you all the best and good luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So this is the strategic plan for Kenya Society for the Blind. I hope we can all hold it. Let me see. Yes, that way. Good. That is a strategic plan that is going to lead KSB for the next 5 years. And I want to request now our guest of honor, if the cameramen are okay with that. Now we can go to cutting the ribbon. Thank you. Let's appreciate. Thank you. As a society, we have a big vision, as you can see, isn't it? Yes, so thank you, our CAS, thank you, our honored guest.